With what's happening in the world today, the American educational system is not keeping pace, not nearly keeping pace. It's something I worry about personally, and frankly I think it's something everybody should worry about. There's so much to be concerned with, but among the things to be concerned with is the lack of a global perspective in our education system. We have a lot of problems, a lot of challenges, keeping up with the leaders in public school education, such as Finland and Singapore, to name just two, to say nothing of South Korea, of Japan, Canada, and a long list of others. But particularly on putting the child's education in a global perspective, we lag so far behind that I'm really worried about it. Well, among the possible consequences of this is that we fall further and further behind economically, because we all know we have to compete on a global basis. And if we are not turning out students who can compete in not just manufacturing, but technology, name any field you want, then we're destined to fall further and further behind. I want to emphasize that I'm an optimist by experience and by nature. And we know also from American history that Americans, once they recognize a dire situation, a crisis or something near crisis, we're very good at adapting and responding. So I think we will respond, but I don't think we can kid ourselves. Up to and including now, we haven't responded nearly with the vigor that we absolutely must do. Well, in our country, change starts with individuals. The change has to start with every family, then go to every community. Let's face it, we have a different education structure than most of the rest of the world. I paused and said almost all of the rest of the world, most of the rest of the world, that we do not have a minister of education in Washington that can, in effect, dictate education for the country as a whole. Let me emphasize, nor do I think we need one or want one, but we have to recognize that by placing the responsibility on individual states for what the education will be in that state, by and large, that does have some inherent weaknesses to it. But what we can do about it is, number one, recognize we have a problem, a deep and abiding problem. Our school system simply has not kept up. We once were the world's leader. There was a time not too long ago when the world looked to us to model their education systems on what we had. But now we're at the point where we need to take from what others are learning. Why is it that Finland can be by far the world's leader on a sustained basis, year in and year out, on international examinations for their students? And what can we learn from Finland? What can we learn from Singapore, which also does very well? There are vast differences from Finland's approach to Singapore's approach, but both those approaches have been excellent, from which we can learn.